Hello. What's going down? Sorry about the hold off, everybody. Man, this. Oh God, let me shut my phone off. Sorry, my my stuff was not working at all, so I'm trying to get my camera and stuff working. I've actually been working on this for like the last 10, 15 minutes. I may have to do a whole entire reboot again. I see somebody up there. I don't know who you are, but whoever you are, thank you for showing up. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, please. Oh, did I fix it? I don't know. But I'm here. I am here, ladies and gentlemen. Your fearless leader has arrived. Sorry about that. As you can see, most of my stuff is all blurry and stuff now. Hold on, let's go to our stuff. Because usually I do everything in red, as you can see. But right now everything is in blue, which I don't even like blue. Like at all. I don't. Sorry. I mean, I don't know if you guys do, but I don't. Never have. I don't like blue. Sorry. Sorry. I don't. How are you guys doing? Hold on. Let me. Dude, am I even. Hold on. Oh, please. Let me make sure that I'm even on. Oh, look. I see that I'm there. Let me switch a few things out. Sorry. Excuse me. What's going down, people? Rebecca, hello. Sorry about my technical difficulties today. Miss Racklin, how are you, dear? Hello, Jessica. How are you? Hello, everyone. Jerry Bear. There we go. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't know what happened. Um I was still kind of working on stuff, but then I'm like, all right, I got it. But for some reason it kept just making me record instead of go live. So I'm sitting there talking on the recording, and I'm like, man, there's something wrong here. And I keep going to Facebook. Nothing's there, but whatever. We made it. I appreciate the phone calls and the messages. I didn't answer because I needed to kind of focus on what we're doing. How is everyone? And I had that my other camera going, the one that you guys consistently say that makes me look greasy. You guys are like, oh my god, you look so crazy. Let me show it to you. Here it is. This one here. It's fine. The one that makes me look greasy. I look all greasy and shit. Like a sweaty, weird ass politician. She's Jessica says, I hate that camera. She said, I hate that camera. It's all good. I don't know. I know I'm about to use the other one. I was just showing you what Melissa said. You look sweaty as fuck. Do you, hey, real quick before we get started, there's this show on HBO called The Righteous Gemstones. Do you guys watch that? Or is that just me? It's a show on HBO. It's kind of like a satirical comedy about this church family, of this evangelistic family, and it has what was our dude's name? Bob? No, not Dan. The one, you know, the dude from Roseanne, the dad Dan, and it has Danny McBride in it, um, Walter Goggins. Man, that show is so funny. Oh my god! But the this one of the kids was talking about naming their child, their first child, Stallone, after the Rocky movies or whatever. And his sister's pissed off at him for some reason. And she comes in and she says something about she comes in and talks about like I don't know what you guys are talking about or whatever. And then she said something along the lines of um I hope that your lives get fucked up whenever that baby comes out. What's that baby's name? Tony Dancer? Or whatever the fuck you gonna call that dumbass baby. It was so funny. Oh my god. Oh man. I'm just saying if you guys get a chance, watch it. Oh my god. Hey, what's up, Angie? That show is so funny. And I think there's only a couple episodes left and then we're done. They're actually done with the series. Not just the season, the whole series. So I don't know. It was only on for like 3, 4 seasons. But man, it was funny. Man, was it funny. All right, either way, let's get it started. So today we're gonna be talking about the 7 deadly myths of clarity. Now you might be wondering why are we talking about clarity? Actually, I wanted to talk about control because there's a lot of stuff like that going on. Go ahead, buddy. There's a lot of stuff going on in my life and the lives of people around me that are always trying to control somebody else's narrative and control a narrative in general. And I'm like, man, like that'd be a good show to have. So we'll probably end up doing that tomorrow. But while I was thinking about that, I was like, you know what? Let's talk about clarity. Because I was like, as a life coach, that's a word that we use constantly. But I don't actually think, hey, what's up, Yachty? I don't think that a lot of people truly understand what that word is and what it means. So, without further ado, ladies and gents, guess what we're going to get into? Hold on, let me see if my shit's in. Here it is. Be back in a second.
Vandaag ben jij de baby en ik je sugar daddy. Je weet toch Roxino betaalt de bill. Jij krijgt alles wat je wil. Schat, let maar niet op de prijs. Die bon is van mij. Zet die moed in het ijs. Die bon is van mij. Je zegt me schat, geef eventjes je pas. Dan haal ik nog een rondje.
I know you guys are like, is that Anya? Yes, it is. Sometimes shit fucks up. There you go. Stop trying to clarify every goddamn thing. That's not my intro. It was just Anya's intro. I thought it was mine. It was not. It was hers. I'm going to have to go in and find mine. I don't know where mine is. Don't worry about my shit. And stay out of my business, too. Anyway, you guys like, y'all like Miss Anya's thing? I helped her. I helped her create that whole type of thing. That's kind of why it looks a little like mine. It's just a little different. Yeah, I can't even find my shit. Dead ass. When I told you I was having technical difficulties, no joke, technical difficulties. She said I'm cracking up. Right. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, fuck it. We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. I don't know if Anya saw that. I don't think she's even on here right now. But dude, I know she's gonna love that. Hold on, let me see. I don't know, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she's. Yeah, I don't know what she's doing right now. Actually, you know what? I do know what she's doing. She is actually out to eat with her boyfriend for her birthday. So that's where she is. Thank you, Miss Yachty. It is I didn't feel it. She said I am crying. Yeah, listen, I had to dance to my friend's song. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I almost feel like I stole my friend's stuff. So I'm just saying, don't judge me. Don't judge me. Hey, you know what though? Listen, on Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, myself and my buddy Brian, we have yes she is. We have this podcast called the Trial and Error Show. And one of the things that we talk about sometimes is that you just gotta go with it. Let me see. And this motherfucker ain't even following me. Boy, today has just been a night. Hold on, let me see if it'll. Okay, there we go. So sometimes, man, you just gotta go with it. Shit's gonna suck. You're gonna be unprepared. Something's gonna fuck up. Just run with it. So tonight I ran Anya's promo, her intro video instead of my own. And funny enough, I dead ass. I can't even find mine on here. Like I can't even find my promo at all. Like I mean, I know where it is. It's just not on here. Isn't that crazy? Trial and Error podcast, yeah. All the other ones are here except for mine. Matter of fact, even my uh fearless one that goes up on top's not even there. So I don't know. Either way, fuck it. Just gonna run with it. Right? We cool on that? Can I get a hell yes? Where's hold on. We're missing a person. Has anybody heard from Renita? Where's Renita at? I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. They said a hell of a way to kick off the night. Using somebody else's intro. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck? Fuck it, let's run with it. Like, let's get her. Don't throw that away. Put that up there. I'm like, fuck it, let's run with it. All right, so anyway, here, let's hopefully my buttons and stuff still work. I don't know. Oh yeah, give me 1 second, guys. We gotta get started before Angie gets pissed. So anyway, so Melissa says she makes bracelets. Every time she sees me, she reminds me that she still has them and wants to show them to me. She made her buy two of them today. Two of them. They're $20 each. Melissa had to buy two of them. Melissa was like, "Hey, I don't have any cash." She's like, "It's okay. I take Cash App and Vimno." You're welcome, Melissa, because I'm the one who set them up for her. You're welcome. I wanted to make sure that we shit on every one of your excuses that people choose to make. Right? That's what we're gonna do. Sorry. So anywho, so like I always say, like we have a 60-second usually delay in what I see and hear and vice versa. Um, so yeah, so if I ask you a question, it's gonna take probably about a good 60 seconds before I can answer, or vice versa. So if it seems like I'm rushing you, I'm not. I'm for the most part trying to kill time a little bit, but don't get it twisted. I got you covered. You know, we're good. All right. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, clap for yourselves. This is our ritual. Clap, Vince. There you go. Clap. Why are we clapping? Number one, we're clapping because it's day 35. Day 35, ladies and gentlemen. Day 35. We're also clapping for myself. You were clapping for yourself. Because if you don't clap for you, nobody else will. Get used to clapping for yourselves. Melissa, clap for yourself. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that, dear. Yachty, very much. So thank you. I appreciate that very much. Where's Jerry? Let's see my guy Jerry. Where's Jerry? Clap for yourself. There it is, Jerry. Thank you. Whew. Can't sleep at night without you, buddy. There it is. There it is. Miss Ragland's clapping. I appreciate it. Thank you. Whoever just showed up, get the clapping. Clap for yourself. So let me so tonight we're gonna talk about the 7 deadly myths about clarity and what to do about it. All right. And we're not talking about like the English definition of clarity, which actually I think I forgot to even put in here. We're talking about more mainstream, and then we're gonna talk about my definition of clarity, my definition. Then we're gonna kind of go into some good shit. But before we get started, let me explain to you exactly who and what I am. I'm an asshole, born and raised in the depths of hell. I'm joking. I am a certified life coach. Been coaching for about 23 years. I attended and graduated from the Meta Institute, which is in Golden Valley, Minnesota, with a plethora of certifications, as you can see. I would have actually had a whole lot more on there, but I don't want to be here all night talking about my achievements and certifications. That at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie to you, don't mean shit if you don't do anything with them, which I didn't do shit with them for a long time. So now you have to unfortunately catch the verbose wrath of my excessive talking. Sorry. Sorry. I was touched verbally as a child. Sorry. Touched verbally. But here's without saying, I also come with a warning. My warning is that if you are easily offended, please go somewhere else. As my brother and sister, the Baker Acre family are going to contest. That, as my sister would say, swipe left, and my brother is going to give you a beautiful gift. What gift do we have for them today, Jerry? Fuck off and kick rocks. But if you're here to do some work, take some accountability, put that work in, hold yourself accountable and responsible, pull up a chair, and welcome to Ask Fearless, where I will be answering all of your coaching questions. I will also give you some training, some lessons, and some coaching. Okay, that's how this whole thing works. Now, some of you may be wondering, how is this megalomaniac a life coach? I know, right? I was thinking the same thing. I'm like the Deadpool of life coaching. Hence my jacket. Thank you, Yachty. Yes, I got it from Timu. No joke, seriously, I did. I bought two of them. One for myself, one for my kid. So, yeah. And I hadn't showered, and I didn't feel like wearing the same exact shirt 2 or 3 days in a row. So I decided to just go ahead and throw this on. Yeah. I mean, fuck it, we're gonna get personal, right? I mean, who cares? Yep, I got mine on. My kid just asked me, "You wearing that?" Sure am. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what don't I do? I'm not here to motivate you because you don't need motivation. Inspiration, structure. Uh, what other words can we use, Jessica? Gets in the mood every time you wear it off. There you go. Um, I can't that's for something different. But either way, I'm not here to motivate people. It's not what I do, right? Whatever. I'm also not here to coddle or sugarcoat anything. A kind word, maybe, yes. But sugarcoat, coddling, we're not doing that. Number three, here's the thing: whatever your dreams, goals, or aspirations are, I cannot want it more than you. I can't. Okay. So whoever basically for the most part gets the work gets to take the credit. So if I do the work for you, that means I get to take the credit too. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of dumb, right? Go ahead and go get some water, buddy. Um, I'm also not here to fix you because you're not broke. Okay? Scarred up, dent, ding, scraped, scuffed, pounded, maybe. Broken? Nah, you're not. So, what am I here to do? Well, I'm here to give you some practical tools, tips, and strategies for your dreams, goals, and aspirations by way of some tools, tips, and strategies, right? I'm going to help you reframe your thinking for the most part, right? Not what you think about, because I can't change that, but how you think about it. I got your back. Okay. Are we all? I think we're good from here, right? We're good. Yes. Perfect. Let's move on. So, we're going to talk about accountability and responsibility. These are the two things that everything that we do stand on. If you don't like this, fuck off. All right. So, accountability, by definition, means to be answerable, liable, and responsible. Answerable means that we don't blame anybody, we don't make excuses. Liable means we keep our word, not only to ourselves, but to everybody else outside of that, too, because that's also where your boundaries are going to lay as well, right? Responsible is a duty and obligation to yourself. It's an action. It's something that you do. Responsibility, excuse me, is the state of being answerable for what's within your control, right? Understanding where your control starts and stops, that's a pretty major piece in this whole thing, right? So what are you responsible for? Your actions, your energy, your attitude, choices, and emotions. Those are yours. For the most part, most of the other things outside of that have nothing to do with you. Okay? Good. You're like, of course, fearless. We already know this. I know you know this, silly. What about the newcomers? They don't know this shit, do they? Of course they don't. Let's go. We also repeat shit constantly. Hold on. We repeat things consistently because that's the only way that you'll learn anything, whether you know it or not. You don't learn on a conscious level, you learn unconsciously. And unconscious learning happens repetitively. Okay. So anything worth knowing, learning, teaching, and understanding revolves around this one word, which is repetition. Okay. If you've been here for the last 35 episodes, you know everything that majority of everything I talk about is the same shit constantly. It just has a different dress on it. Okay. That's all it is. Right? Different dressing. That's it. All right. So please go grab yourself a pen pad or whatever you need to focus. Snacks, drinks, beer, tree, shards. I don't know what you need. Go get it. We're gonna focus. We're gonna talk about our dreams, goals, aspirations, and problems. Right? We're gonna write that shit down. That's what I have to do. So that's what you're gonna do. Okay? Otherwise, you're just sitting there listening to some big head motherfucker and you could be doing something else. Right? But if you are here to support me, I honestly appreciate that. Thank you much. Because you could be doing anything right now, but you're here with me and I appreciate that. Okay? Screenshot shit. Turn your phone to the side. Screenshot whatever you need to. You got me? Got me. Jerry, I'm going to ask these people 3 questions. If I were a police officer, matter of fact, you know what? Jerry, not this time, buddy. I know you probably already started, but Melissa, if you're with us, I have a question to ask you. If I were a police officer and I were to pull you over, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. What are those 3 questions? If you don't remember, from north to south to east to west, from city to city, state to state, they're all going to ask you the same 3 questions. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Perfect. Now, as a life coach, I ask the same thing. You see Officer Fearless over there and bystander Mr. Cummings? See that? So I'm going to ask myself, just like I would ask you guys, 3 menacing questions. What are your dreams, goals, aspirations, and values? Okay. What's your constitution? Do you have one? And what personal mission statement or pledge do you have to yourself? Now that may not seem a lot to y'all. Well, to my crew, we already know. But if you're new to this, you may not know. And why is that important? Because that is the foundation that everything that you do in life will stand on. Am I right, fearless crew? I mean, am I? It's does it sound about right, Melissa? Again, I mean, now. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Melissa told me today. She said, "I do watch your show. I just don't really participate." I said, "Wow. All right, that works. That's okay. I participate, right? I mean, I do." She says, "I hate participating, but that's the only way that this works, though, dear. You gotta participate. You gotta put it out there, okay? Because it has to be a me first type of thing. Speaking of me first, here are my top five. These are my values in life. First thing is my kid, friends, and family. Second thing is reading, learning, and teaching. You see exactly that's what I'm doing right now, right? Number three, this is a big one for me too. Stay solid in my principles. Be firm in my character. Here's my constitution. First thing is what? Be the best father I can be. Stay calm and solid in my character. Again, that shit repeats itself, right? This is what I stand on, right? So every decision I make, every value that I have, every pledge that I make, every boundary that I set will be based off of this. Okay? Here's my pledge to myself. I'm not going to go into it, but y'all know what it is. As always, please ask as many questions as possible because I'm only here to help. And like I said before, every every one of these trainings that I create, they're all a cookie cutter type of thing, right? I basically add and drop, take away, add, drop, take away, add, drop, take away. The thing that makes it personal is when you ask questions. That's what makes the coaching relationship work. Otherwise, again, I mean, you want to sit through the trainings, that's what's up. I'll give them to you. As you can see, I love this shit. I don't get tired. That's not mine, it's Kevin Gates, but you know what I'm saying. All right, so here's a cheat sheet. So for those of y'all who need to fuck off and go do something else or whatever, these are the 7 deadly myths about clarity. Okay. So the first one is clarity means certainty. Second is clarity comes from others. Then we have clarity feels good. Then we have clarity is a one time moment. Then we have clarity solves the problem. And then we have clarity means knowing what to do. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, these are myths, which means by definition, they are not true. Okay? They're not true. Here we go. Hold on, before we even get started. Hold on. Let me move this up there. Before we get started, can I get my hell yes? Can I pretty please sugar on top get my hell yes? I need that hell yes before we get started. This is also our little thing, so we're gonna keep this little participation thing right here going as well. We got to get the hell yeah. What? Melissa participated. What? So, I mean, Jerry, I mean, come on. I mean, buddy, if you don't mind me saying, I think that you and your wife are lifers. I'm just going to put it out there. Jessica is a goddamn lifer. Yachty, I believe, is a goddamn lifer. Jessica, I think she fucked off, but it's fine. She's still a lifer no matter what. I am. I'm going to celebrate. I celebrate every time, every chance I step in here. Every chance. Every single chance. Let's get the party started. All right, so number one, the first thing that we wanted to kind of talk, she said, "Oh, sorry about that, Jessica." Said, "Still here, jerk." Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I've been called horrible things today. Horrible things today. Jerk has been like the third nicest thing that's been said about me today. So, damn, I didn't label these things. That's crazy. Oh, I think that's why. Never mind. Sorry. So, what clarity usually means in the mainstream, which is the common use, clarity. I'd say Claritin. Clarity often gets used as a vague, feel good term. It's kind of like a platitude. Let's get clear on what we want in life. Right? You guys hear that? I just want to feel better about something. I want to know what the next thing to do. I just want peace of mind. Right? None of these things are what actually clarity actually means. None of them. Okay. And the problem with this is that it's usually reactive and emotional when people talk about clarity. Is it not? Gotta get clear about where you're going. Like, yeah, you gotta get clear about what you want to do in life. Right? Like how is a 19-year-old kid, how is a 17-year-old kid who graduates from high school clear about his fucking future? What? Please, fuck out of here. Right? It's about relief, not responsibility. Again, think about that. The relief. Oh my gosh, I know exactly what I want. Right? But not the responsibility to take it. And the last thing is that it focuses on answers, not external answers, not integrity. See that my brain is going all over the place. Not internal alignment. Right? Think about that. So when we're talking about anything happening outside of us is external. Anything in here is internal. So it focuses mainly on what do I want out of life, right? Not who am I? What type of life do I want to have? What type of man do I want to become? What type of this and the other? And usually these are things that we see outside of us, right? But as we are going to find out, that's not what that means. So here is what clarity means to me, right? To me. There you go. So clarity is when your perception aligns with your principles, right? Another way to say that is that clarity is when you see things through the lens of who you've chosen to be. Think about that. When you are clear about your shit, it's not based on what you see outside of you. It's looking at the lens of the type of person that you want to become, and you look at it from that lens. So if you're looking at it from the lens of confidence, well, what does that look like? You're gonna know what that looks like, right? If I'm if I'm a if I'm an EMT, for instance, or whatever, or a firefighter, let's say firefighter, and I see a house or something going on, something's burning, I'm not gonna look at life from a guy or a woman standpoint. I'm gonna look at it from a um I'm gonna look at it from a firefighter standpoint, right? And that's kind of what clarity is. When you know who you are and what you bring to the table, and you see life through that lens, right? So if you want to be the best father that you can be, or the best mom you can be, or the best whatever you choose to be, you need to understand what your top five values are, what I would say. You need to understand what your principles are, what do you stand for, what are your ethics, your moral, your culture, that thing that makes you you, that you stand on, and that personal fucking code that you have. When you know that, that's how you look at life. So you look at life through that lens. See what I mean? That's where clarity comes from. So, boom. All right. So The number one myth. Actually, we have a bunch of new people just showing up. Fearless Cummings here. Welcome. Welcome to Ask Fearless, where we are talking about our dreams, goals, aspirations, and a little bit of training. That doesn't make any sense. Where we talk about dreams, goals, aspirations, and problems. Today we're talking or doing coaching, a little bit of training, and some Q&A. So if you want to ask some questions, throw them out there. As soon as I see them, I'll answer them. Okay? That work? Today we are talking about the 7 deadly myths of clarity. Melissa, you still here? She's probably not. She's gone. Anyway, so clarity means certainty, right? So the truth is that clarity is about alignment, not guarantees. She says, yes, I am. What? That's crazy. Hello. Right? So you can be clear and still not know the outcome. Right? Because again, you have to remember clarity is about alignment within you. Right? It's not based on what you're doing, it's based on what's within you, not what's out there. So uh certainty is an external thing, but clarity is an internal thing. So, now I can be certain about who I am. I could do that, but I can't be certain about number one who you are, how I'm going to make something outside of me happen, or or whatever else. It doesn't really matter. Anything outside of you that has nothing to do with you, that's out of your control, for the most part, is about certainty or uncertainty. Anything in here is about clarity. Do you see what I mean? This, for the most part, this whole entire goddamn thing's done now. Just by me explaining that one thing to you. Because think about how many people think that clarity is about knowing what my vision is. That ain't got shit to do with nothing. Clarity is about you knowing who you are and then living your life through that vision. That's how that works. You don't need to control, you need conviction. You don't control shit outside of you. Melissa, weren't we just talking about this today? You don't control anything outside of you. Nothing. You may contribute to what's outside of you, but you don't control shit. Nothing. Okay? She said we sure did. Let me ask you guys, do you guys agree with that statement? That you don't control much outside of you. You contribute to a lot outside of you, but we don't really control much outside of us. Like we don't. Do you guys agree with that? That statement? I'm gonna say hell yeah. I'm gonna say hell yeah. What? Look at me. What about y'all? Do you guys agree? And if you disagree, that's cool too. Put it out there. You know me, I love a little philosophical debate. I would love to know. Okay, there we go. Look at that. There I am again. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, we there? Okay, so number two is that clarity comes from other people. That's the myth that we think, right? That it comes from somebody else. And like I've been saying since the first one, the truth is that clarity comes from within. It comes from within. You don't need permission for it. You don't need permission to get clear about who you are and where you're going. Not whatsoever. Nobody can give you your truth. We may be able to guide you to it. We may be able to point, help you in the right direction, maybe. right? But we can't tell you what it is. I can't give it to you because it's not mine to give. Technically, it's yours to find, if that makes sense, right? External advice versus internal alignment. Think about that. Whenever we're looking for that clarity, so many of us look, like I said, outside of us, right? We think that we try to create it from the outside in, if that makes any sense. That's how we try to create our clarity from seeing what I want out there and then trying to build that from the inside outside there and then create it in here. Doesn't work that way. It has to be created here and then it works its way out. Okay? Insight is borrowed, clarity is built. You guys are getting insight from me every day. Every day. My perception, the way that I reframe things, the way that I think, how I help you guys, not on what you think about or how you see, so or what you look at, it's how you see everything. That perspective, it's my perspective that you guys can take it, you can borrow it, use it, do whatever you need to do with it, right? But your insight, that insight is borrowed from me. But clarity, that's yours. I can help you build that by you giving me the things that I need to help you establish what they are for you. But that's not mine. It's still yours. You see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense, Jessica? Does that make any sense to you, Yadi? Does that make sense? Baker Tribe, does that make sense? Clarity feels good. Truth is, no, the fuck it does not. Clarity sucks. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you it sucks because it means that you got to do the work. It sucks and it's lonely as shit sometimes. Seeking, what I write, seeing the truth means that you have to let go of the illusions that you have. Thank you guys. Right? Think about that. Seeing the truth means letting go of the illusions that you have. And the illusions that we have, again, like I keep telling you, are based on shit that's outside of you. Anything outside of you has to deal with that. Clarity is extremely uncomfortable because you have to build that shit from within. So if you got all kinds of, one of the things I'm gonna be working on is passion versus distraction. And this is one of the things that Jessica said to me today because we were, Melissa and I were talking about this. Um, she was asking me about what I liked more about doing this podcast in general, this teaching or webinars, whatever you want to call this. And we were talking about it from the standpoint of my bookstore that I own as well. Excuse me, co-own. And she said, "What is it that you love more about this than you do that?" And I gave her just a bunch of not platitudes, but I gave her the truth about how I felt about that versus this. And Jessica, I was kind of explaining some of that conversation to Jessica, and she said, "You know what? I understand that because I think that that was more of a distraction for you as opposed to a passion." I said, "Oh man, I got to write that down. That's deep." So I'm gonna be doing a whole entire episode just on that alone, because that to me that's deep as shit, right? Passion versus distraction. Oh my god, I love that, right? But peace comes after the pivot, not before. So what do I mean by that? Peace comes after the pivot, not before. You have to pivot from thinking that this clarity is gonna be amazing for you and this and the other. Unfortunately, it may not be. And once you accept that, then it's easier to kind of it's easier to walk when you know it's exactly in front of you. A lot of us walk around with these rose petal goggles on thinking that things are, excuse me, one way and they're totally different, right? Not saying that it's good or bad, it's just that's how some people walk around, right? And then when life actually really walks up on them, they're extremely unprepared because they may say, I have vision, I have clarity of where I'm going, but you didn't build anything along the way. Your vision and your clarity is based on something outside of you. But what happens when that fails? What happens when that crumbles? What happens when somebody disrupts that thing outside of you? Then what do you have? You have no more clarity because your clarity is attached to something that you have no control over. See what I mean? Real clarity will challenge your ego. Your ego, your ego's gonna get bruised as shit. Your pride's gonna take an ass whipping when you decide to go clear. It's just a part of that, right? I Here's the thing. Again, I would love to sit and tell you positive, happy, joy type of shit, but unfortunately, nah, man. You got to hear the truth about this stuff. It's not always gonna be fun. It's not gonna be always happy. It's not gonna always be, oh my god, you're gonna be fulfilled. No, real work, transformation. Sometimes it fucking sucks, and that's why not everybody wants to do it. Right? Everybody has their own opinion on how they think things should go, don't they? How many of us say I, if you know somebody who who sits around talks about platitudes all day long, has all these words and be kind, be nice, be thoughtful, love, live, laugh, shit like that, but they don't live by that shit. Matter of fact, here, let's put that out there. I'll put I. Say I. How many of y'all know somebody like that? Or know people like that? Right? I mean, they're quick to live off the fucking platitudes. They're quick to talk about it, but they don't live that way. Hey, Miss Anya, how many of y'all know somebody like that? Miss Anya says I. Jessica says I. Okay. Anybody else's shit is it just us? What about you, Jer Bear? What about you, Rebecca? Miss Yachty? Melissa's still here. That's what's up. I love hearing that. Look at that. Everybody's saying, what's up, Miss Anya? Right? Real clarity will change your ego, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to clear it. Okay? For those of you just now showing up, my name is Fearless Cummings. Thank you to Axe Fearless. I'm your host and life coach for the evening. We're talking about some pretty cool stuff, I think. The 7 deadly myths of clarity, right? And what we could do about it, for the most part, right? Because why just sit and talk about something if you don't have a solution for it, right? And we're gonna talk about that solution myth shit too in a little bit. So here's the thing, uh, some of you guys, I love bouncing my ideas off of you because it helps me. And again, clarity. I'm not saying that that it's all based on just you, because I think that you have to be inspired in some way to find that path that works for you, right? And even when it doesn't work for you, I think that's okay to know that too. So you need to understand and know when to pivot off of things or whatever. But I also think that the more times you do something, the more you talk about something, the more people you talk to it about that know you, I think that they can also give you a better idea to help you to kind of clarify And I want to be very careful about this, but who you are, what you stand on, and what they've acknowledged with you. So it's almost like when you take those personality tests, they don't tell you who you are. It just points you in the right direction. That's it. And when I was talking to Jessica about some of this stuff, and also Naomi too, I was talking about that. And Brian, my co-host on the Trial and Error podcast, we were talking about why do people, um, why don't we narrow down our niches? Why are we so broad with certain stuff? And it's kind of like, well, because we want to try to attract everybody. It's like, I get that, but um, and I, and it just dawned on me. I'm like, man, I think that I'm really good at helping people build confidence, which I am. I'm great at that shit. But I was talking to Naomi and I was talking to Jessica about it, and they were like, yeah, you are, but no, they're like, no, that's it's what you do. It's one of the things, but it's not that all encompassing thing. And one of the things that I started to understand was, and I've been talking about this for years, is reframing things. My perspective, right? Being able to reframe how we see things. And with that, I can do that with anything and anyone, right? I've when I was in school for life coaching, that's mainly what I focused that was one of the funnest things for me to do because it didn't really take a lot of effort on my part because number one, I love to read already. I love perspective in general. I love philosophy and I love questions, right? I love seeing things from a multitude of 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 of, of perspectives. I understand that there's 26 letters in the alphabet. So if you've worked on A, B, and C, that means that motherfucker, you got 23 letters to go, right? So it's about perspective, how we see things, right? Not what you're looking at, how do you look at it? And that's what I bring to the table. I could do this shit all day, every day, 3 times on Sunday, right? But that's my thing. Now, a lot of us think that clarity is a one time moment, and it's not. It's not. It's a practice, not an event. I consistently keep coming to terms with who I am, with what I am, with what I love, with who I love, right? With what am I true to? Right? I mean, I don't know if that makes any sense. Does that make sense to you guys? That hey, Miss Anya, I love YouTube. She's so funny. Um, but does that make sense to you guys? That it's not a one time thing. That this is a constant evolution. We are all consistently evolving. So what fuck? I don't know. But we're all consistently evolving. Would you guys agree with that? Say I. I'll go first. Right? Right? I think that we're all evolving into more than what we are. It's not about that lightning bolt, that one time strike. To me, I don't know about y'all, but to me, it's a whole lifestyle, right? Because whatever you call what you do, whatever you call yourself, that's going to it's going to resonate with everything else that you do. Everything. So you get clear by checking in, not checking out. And I know a lot of us have checked out on a lot of shit. I know that I have. I'm a huge proponent sometimes of checking out, especially when it comes to certain people. Like, bro, I'm good on you. I'm cool. Nope. Right? But we're talking about clarity here. So it's easy for us to check out on that, right? Reframing, like we said before, builds clarity over time. So it's not a one-time thing, man. It's gonna keep it's gonna keep happening. You'll feel it, then you won't. Then you'll feel it again, then you won't. But again, I think that we start narrowing things down. It's kind of like Occam's razor, like I taught you guys before. about shaving everything else off that no longer matters. Peel off the shit that you don't want or need anymore. Let's focus on what's relevant to what we need right now. Thank you, Miss Anya. She said, hi. She walked in the house, put her stuff down, looked at old dude, said, don't touch my shit, and then walked off. Dude, she is so funny. Oh my God, she's so funny. All right, so number 5. Clarity solves the problem. That's the myth. The truth is that clarity doesn't fix, it reveals. It shows you where you stand. So if I were listening to a person and they're telling me that such and such is doing this, that I have a problem with this person, that person, this, that, and the other, cool, okay. I understand that, right? But the one thing that I can honestly tell you, I'm gonna be able to look at is by listening to what you say, I'm gonna know where you stand. I'm gonna know where your boundaries are. I'm gonna know what your values are. I'm gonna know what your constitution is. I'm even gonna know what your mission statement in life is. I'm gonna know all that shit based on what comes out of your mouth. And again, not once, but how many times does something need to be a pattern, y'all? How many times does something need Yachty? Yachty, answer this. How many times does something need to be a pattern? It removes the fog, but you still have to do the work. You still got to do the walking. But it will remove everything else, right? But when you find you, whew, well, it ain't gonna fix shit. It's gonna reveal all the little pots and little leaks that you got missing around here. It's almost like a, a professional housekeeper coming to clean your house when you have your little cousin come over and clean. There is gonna be a massive difference. You're gonna be looking at like, man, why did I pay him? Or why did I pay that person? Right? We do that. Okay. Clarity is not the answer. Think about that. Clarity isn't the answer you're looking for. It's the question sharpener. Now, I know I have to explain that a little bit. What do I mean by that? Clarity isn't the answer. It's a question. What does this mean to me? Why is this important to me? Why did I get so upset about that? Is there something else there? Who Why don't I like myself when I'm around these people? Who am I when I'm alone by myself? Where do I see myself in 10 years? So, again, clarity doesn't always answer the question. It's not always the answer. It sharpens the question within itself that allows you to rebuild and build that clarity. That clarity. So when I write in my stuff that I want to be the best father that I can be, what does that mean to me? That's what I'm talking about, right? Well, that means that showing up. Okay, well, what does showing up mean? That means if I pick my kid up from school, instead of listening to music or being on the phone when I, how about I ask my son, how was school today? Okay. So, what other conversations can you have with your son? Right? What's his favorite color? What's this? What's that? Right? And again, it gets you in the habit of being of being better. I don't want to see a better parent. I want to see a present parent and better, right? I think that we can all approve, correct? But again, like I said, I mean, it's not always the answer. Sometimes it helps us to sharpen the question that we're actually asking ourselves about being the better person, right? And sometimes, like I remember dating this female like fucking some time ago, and there was a conversation that she was having with I think her son, at the time. And since some of the questions she was asking him after he got out of school, I was like, man, like I should probably start doing that with Caden. You see what I mean? So I mean, and I think that again, I think that I think steel start sharpens steel. So I think if you're a good parent or you're trying to be a good parent, you're gonna be around other parents who are trying to do the same thing that you're doing. And then you're gonna be able to see what they're doing to maybe see where you're slacking so you can pick up that pace too. And again, that's all part of what being clear is, right? So then so let me ask before we go any further, are you guys understanding what I'm talking about when I talk about being clear and clarity in general? That clarity does not necessarily mean that to be clear on your goals. Because I think that that's one part of it. Being clear within yourself means literally being clear within yourself first before you go after that dream goal or aspiration that you have. Can I get an eye that you guys understand where I'm coming from on that? About understanding, getting clear with yourselves first. Can I get an eye? Oh, hold on, please. I'll go first. Rebecca says, I thank you, ma'am. Fearless says, I thank you. Jerry says, I. What about you, Jessica? I know you probably somewhere around there doing some shit. Can I get an I from you? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you don't, let me know. Because you're always between you and Yachty, boy. Y'all be asking some questions. Never really on here much, but I get most of my questions from y'all. Miss Anya said, I. Thank you, Miss Anya. What? Jessica, you get it? Okay. Melissa, you still with us? Oh, please. Okay. So, oh, hey, look at that. Angie's here. Miss Yachty. What's going on, guys? I'm so sorry. Sometimes you guys are so quiet. I, sometimes I forget y'all even around, man. Okay. So, number 6 means clarity, means knowing what to do. This is one of my personal favorites. And again, this is a myth. Clarity means knowing what to do. And the truth is, clarity means knowing who you are as you decide. Okay, hey, if you need to do that, just tell me to pause. So if you guys ever need me to um stop on something, I want you guys to do that. I want you to hit the pause button. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing here. So I just said pause. So if you hit that pause or say pause, I'll stop and then I'll wait for you to ask whatever you're gonna ask. So yeah, from now on, that's our rule. If you want to ask me a question, hit pause and then we'll just go from there. Okay? Because I really want to make sure you guys understand this stuff. Okay, so again, clarity means knowing who you are as you decide. Think about that. It means knowing who you are, not what you're going to do, but who you are. Think about that. Clarity means knowing who you are. It's identity based, not outcome. What do we say? It starts in here first, then it goes out there. Let's talk about success for a minute. Money. If I were to say that somebody won the lottery, would you call them successful? I want you to answer this question. Type it in. Would you call a person, hey, what's up, Chris? Would you say that a person who won the lottery, all they did was pick the numbers? Would you say that they were a successful person? Okay. No, I totally understand. Still get the pause. I can wait. I'll wait a minute. Again, that's what makes this thing coachable and teachable, where I can make sure that you guys have that information. Okay. So Jerry says, Lucky. Um, look at that. See that? So she should. Rebecca says, no, they're lucky, not successful. I mean, they succeeded in winning the lottery. I wouldn't say that they're successful career wise. Okay. What about you, Yachty? Okay. She's so fucking funny. She said, I want to do my YouTube stuff full time now. Okay, I got you, ma'am. Oh my God, she's awesome. Okay. So, I mean, okay. So, what about you, Yachty? Would you think that somebody who won the lottery would say, Angie, what about you? Would you say that somebody that won the lottery was successful? Would you call them a success if they won the lottery? All they did was just pick some numbers. Would you call them successful? Would you say that Carl over there is a successful businessman? Would you say that? What about you, Angie? Would you say that a person who won the lottery was successful? Okay. So every one of you, for the most part, said the same thing, that no, they're not successful. They were just lucky. Okay. So then that means that you understand the difference between success and money. Because here's the thing, money is a byproduct of success. Success is not a byproduct of money. You become successful first, and then the money comes second. You don't get the money first, and then you become successful. Do you see what I'm talking about? Can I get an eye? Remember, success comes first, money comes second. So if a person says, well, yeah, I got my money because my family left me and blah, 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 blah. Again, you wouldn't say that they were successful. You would say that they were a, what do they call them? Not lotto babies. What are they called? Um, when you pass money down, an inheritance kid. Person wouldn't say that you were successful. Now, if Jeff Bezos' kids, if he has any shit, I don't know, went on and built some other company that became another billion-dollar company, and nobody knew that he was his son, then you would say that he was successful in his own right. Yes, of course you would, right? So yeah, nepo baby, thank you. And what is nepo? Nepo is nepotism. That's all it is. Nepotism. And here's the thing: for the most part, most of us who have children, including you, Jessica, want to leave shit for our children. So on one hand, we don't see nothing wrong with that. But I don't want you walking around thinking that you that we're a success story just because we have money. What did you do to put in on this? You see what I'm saying? So when I talk about that this is an identity based type of thing that is based on you first, then the other shit comes out. So create the type of person that you want to become first. Know what you stand on and get clear about that before you set your dream, goal, or aspiration. Because for the most part, you might be able to duck and dodge a few of those things. Again, what Jessica was talking about, passion, uh, passion versus distraction. passion versus distraction. You got to know what those things are. Okay, it makes easier decisions easier. Excuse me. It makes decisions easier, not easy. They're gonna suck. Like I told you before, it's not always gonna be fun, but I think that it makes it worth it. Okay, knowing who you are is clearer than knowing the next step. When I was homeless, I'm telling you, man, when I was figuring my shit out within myself, I gained a different type of peace, right? I gained a whole different type of peace. I know what it feels like to lose all your shit. I know what it feels like to have to start all the way over again. Losing all your shit, that's easy. Building it all back is easy. Becoming a better man, being clear on the type of man you want to become. Remember when I told you when I wrote that goal out of making $10,000? Do you remember when I told y'all that? When I said I want to make $10,000 and I want to be a stay-at-home dad? Remember when I told y'all that? That was after I wrote out my top five, my values. That was after I got clear on my constitution. That was after I knew the type of mission statement that I was going to live by. It was easier for me to write that shit out only after I did the internal work. Okay? So knowing who you are is to me better than knowing where you're going. Because shit, wherever you end up, there you are. Solid as a rock. Who was that? Angie, who was that who used to sing that? Excuse me. Was that Ashford and they solid as a rock? Wasn't that Ashford and Simpson? Oh, hold on. That money can be a byproduct of. Yes. Yes, no. I 100%. Because not all success leads to money. Correct. Just like knowing exactly who you are doesn't necessarily mean that you know where you're going. So yeah, I do think that there are caveats to that, very much so. But 9 times out of 10, ideally, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, hold on. Yeah, for sure. So money can be a byproduct of success, but right, but not all success leads to money. Correct. No, very much so. Um, it's funny enough that you say that. I'm reading a book. Shit, I think it's in my car, and the book is shit. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's called Your Art. We need your art, and the book is basically that. It's called Stop Messing Around, Make Something, and it's talking about how so many of us have this thing that we want to do. Well, we call it art, right? This is my art that I'm giving the world, that I'm giving this to you, right? This is not making a dime, but to me, this is extremely successful, right? I'm talking to somebody, right? I'm meeting new people. I'm getting to give this shit away. I get to train every single night. And most of these things that I do, I create them within an hour before I go on. This whole entire thing, I put it all together an hour before I started. Like I told you, I had something totally different I wanted to talk about. But this is where we are, right? I'm just saying. I mean, that's the thing I love about doing your art, doing what you love to do. That makes you feel alive inside, man. And I really don't think a lot of us really get that feeling. I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk check yesterday, and he was talking about how these multimillionaire friends of his are fucking miserable. And he knows people who make $150,000 a year living their best lives, right? So it doesn't necessarily always. I agree with you. Excuse me, Rebecca. That no, it doesn't always mean that money can or that success always leads to money because sometimes it does not. But I'll tell you though, man, I think that once you what I'm doing right now, I am happy as fuck. I love what I'm doing. Love it. I don't like this. I fucking love it. If I could sit around reading books all day, creating trainings, teaching this shit, again, think about that. That's part of my value system, is it not? So I am, by definition, a success. I love this, right? Bonus time. Bonus time. Ah, yes, I was right. Ashford and Simpson. Thank you, Angie. Solid as a rock. That's what I'm trying to be. You know what I'm saying? In deeds and character and shit. I'm trying to be solid out here. Right? So here it is. Myth number 7. Clarity will come when the time is right. No, it will not. The truth is that clarity doesn't come with time, it comes with truth. Right? Now, if you look at the second thing, it says clarity doesn't wait on time, it waits on truth. Those are two totally different things. One is coming, one is waiting for, right? Why do I say that? Why is that important? Well, because so many of us consistently keep thinking that, man, as soon as the time is right, man, this is going to happen. No, 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 no. When you find or uncover you, it will show itself because it's always been there for the most part. Whatever opportunity that you want is already there. It's not something you got to wait on. It's already there. Because you're not clear on you yet, you can't see what's right in front of your face. My business partner called me out of the blue, said, "Hey man, do you want to start a business with me selling books?" Hell yes, I do. Not even a second thought. See, he was doing something. That's what he was already doing. I love to read. I didn't ever, I thought about having a bookstore like later on in life, and then once I was offered the challenge to do it, I accepted. I ran with it. Hell yes, let's do this. I get to do it with my friend. We get to hang out all the time. Life's perfect. But what I didn't understand was that he had a totally different outlook on why he wanted to do it, right? Than I did. See, I think if we would have understood where each other were coming from at the onset, maybe things would have been different. I don't know. But character and integrity, responsibility and accountability, those are still my top 5. That's still in my constitution, right? That shit means something to me. So if I understand where your boundaries are, if I understand what your belief system is, your values, your ethics, your code of ethics, your morals, your principles, your constitution. If I know what that is, then I'm gonna run accordingly to that. But that only works if you show up to show it to me. If you never shown it to me, or maybe I chose not to see it, then that's my fuck up. I've had to do a lot of apologizing in that. Okay. Because we weren't clear about certain stuff. Now that we are clear on certain things, I'm very clear on where I'm at. Very. It took me some time to get there. It took a lot of self reflection, but I got there, right? Stop waiting for clarity. Start working on it. I didn't wait for a sign to be shown to me. I got my ass out there and worked for it. Period. There's some people who are waiting for opportunity. Fuck that. I'll create my own. You can wait for your opportunity. I'll go make mine. And I mean, here's the thing. While I'm working on it, if it just so happens to show up, guess what? I was already waiting for you. I was already working. You'll find when you find me, you'll find me with my head down, back bent, and working. I won't even notice you pulling up. I think that when you're working on your shit, when you work on your art, when you work on your craft, man, I ain't got time to be sitting around waiting for bullshit to come. We ain't waiting for clarity. No, we create this, right? Last part says that clarity doesn't arrive. It reveals itself to you when you're being honest with yourself. When you stop lying to yourself and you start digging and you start unpacking who and what the fuck you actually are. Oh, wait. You know, I had to do that several times, not just once, multiple, multiple times. And it sucked every time. But I promise you, just like when you got your ass whooped as a kid, sometimes they felt better when you were done. I'm telling you, it felt better. I got my ass whooped and felt better when it was done. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So here is our cheat sheet tonight. Which one of these myths resonated with you the most? I want to know which one of these resonated with y'all the most. Which one? I think for myself, I think number four, I'm gonna say number four. I'm gonna say number four. I'm gonna say number six, and I'm gonna say number seven. Four, six, and seven for me. Four, six, and seven for me. Where are you at, Yachty? Which one? Which one of these seven deadly myths? Oh, okay. She said, "Oh, god damn." Okay. Oh, Miss Jessica said five. Okay. Clarity solves the problem. Oh, was that surprising a little bit, Jessica? Oh, okay. So are you saying you're also wiser? Is that on your list? That clarity makes you wiser, do you mean, Angie? So Miss Yachty is one, four, six, and seven. Okay. Okay, Miss Anya said, I agree, fearless. I ain't gonna sit around and wait till that shit starts going on. I love it. I'd rather work on my shit and watch my TV series and do my crafty stuff. I just listen to my ghost stories. That's what I'm talking about. See, Miss Anya gonna make it work no matter what. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Thank you, Miss Jessica. Christopher, you are a very hard worker, man. That's one of the things I really appreciate about you. Christopher is very hardworking. Yeah, because ain't nobody else gonna do it out there for you, Chris. Mr. Dady is a very hard worker. That man pulls up and gets to work. You know what I'm saying? Like gets up and gets to work. Thank you, Miss Jotty. I appreciate that. Let me hold on one sec before we. So here's the thing. I think at the end of everything that we're talking about, right? Because we're almost done, so I kind of want to wrap things up a little bit. But here's the thing. I think that at the end of the day, I my objective is not to help people feel better. That's not what I do because that doesn't always work for people. My objective is not to make you feel better. It's to make you see things better. Not to make you feel better, but to see better. Okay, to see better. Because once you see things differently, you move differently. And then when you move differently, you think differently. That's real clarity. That's real power. This is not that psychological shit that we consistently keep thinking that things are going to work itself out, and it does not work like that. Life doesn't. Hold on, she said number 7. Clarity. Okay, I like that. Clarity will come when the time is right. I like that one too. I see exactly what you're saying, Angie. I see that. Um, so with that said, how did you guys like tonight's topic? Majadi said she liked it. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Was this a good topic tonight? I do appreciate that, Majadi. Was tonight a pretty good topic? Like I said, I kind of put it together at the last minute. Jerry said, "Hell yes, thank you, sir." I put it together. Like I said, I put it together at the last minute. Tomorrow we should be back to normal with my studio. Like I said, I don't know what happened today or whatever. Oh, Miss Anya, I have to tell you something. When we started the show, Miss Anya, you got to go back and watch the show. Um, I used your intro as my show today because apparently mine was I didn't know how to find mine, so I accidentally used yours and we just kind of went with it. So Angie said I was referring to when you were talking about the bookstore, how your whys are based on that experience. Um, how are you? So either way, I'll still answer it anyway. So yeah, I think that for me, I'm a little wiser based on what I went through because um understanding that not all passions are your purpose. Not all passions are your purpose. And I think that we have to really understand that because I think that we think that everything that we do that's aligned with everything that we love is our purpose. You ain't Donald Glover and Donald Glover, right? We're not. But some of us are, right? And I think that once you get out there and you do it, I think that you're really going to understand what you bring to whatever it is that you're doing. I love doing this. Even when I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. When you sell books, you got to intentionally sell a book. But I could talk about any book that I've read any day of the week, right? I can do that all day. So, but that's how I've gotten a little wiser, I think. And you also get wiser because you're fucked up. I'm not saying I messed up with the bookstore by no means. I'm just saying in general, once you understand that, hey, this didn't work for me. It was an expensive experiment, yes, but I don't regret any of it. None of it. I love everything that I went through with that and still going through with it. I do. I appreciate it. And I do believe people can change. I believe people can evolve. I think that relationships can can, can sustain bullshit and consistently keep riding. I believe that. But if other people don't believe it, then I don't really know what to tell you. Okay. So let me go ahead and close this out because we're at a hour to 30. Here's the thing. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. You need perspective and a proper foundation. Here on Axe Fearless, that's all I'm offering you. Nothing less. When you rest tonight, which I hope you all do, I hope that you sleep well. And while you're dreaming, I hope you dream big. Until next time, see you later. Good night, everybody. Good night. Bye bye.